I'm Catherine Nathan and I'm a partner in Ratchet Films, and there are two of us, 50-50 partners, and we are a production company. We make any short form video, so anything under 10 minutes, whether it's specially shot, whether it's interviews, promos, sales reels, all kinds of content that's short form. Having spent most of our time doing lots of stuff for broadcast companies and stuff for television promotion and maybe for programme promotion, we really wanted to be able to use our skills in video making in other fields. I mean, I don't imagine that we're any world experts on how to run a business. The one thing I do know from our point of view is that when we started this company, we knew we were good as short form filmmakers. One of the things that we didn't know that we could do was whether or not we could transfer those skills into all other areas and into all other industries. And I can safely say after 5 years, I feel super confident that yes, we can. We were approached by someone who wanted to make an app, but a really good quality app, actually going on to do something that was completely different for a commercial purpose. And a completely different platform on mobile and on tablets. It was a big challenge for us. And Noel Russo is a professional golf coach, and he wanted to make a really good quality, almost how-to golf app, of which you know there are lots of material out there, but there aren't any apps that were going to be in super HD high quality, using phantom cameras to get super slow-mo footage and package it all into one app. So we were very interested to work with him to do that, and that's exactly what we did. We just used our filmmaking skills and our promotional skills to go along and figure out all the stories he needed to tell. We sat down and then helped him figure out editorially what needed to be said, how it was going to be said, and then how we were going to shoot it. But we soon realised that filmmaking is filmmaking, storytelling is storytelling, and if you have a good narrative and you have good editorial, telling stories is quite easy.
If you can control your distance well from 30 up to 100 yards, then you're going to give yourself plenty of opportunities to score well.
The biggest challenge for us was simply to understand the mechanics of the devices that this material was going to end up on. So we had to consider things like the actual size of the screen for the iPhone, the size of the screen for the iPad. So what would maximise the user experience on each of those devices. The other big challenge is really when you're working with people whose expertise is not media. So, you know, working with someone like Noel, who's a fantastic golf professional, doesn't necessarily translate into someone who is going to be a fantastic presenter.
The setup for a pitch is very similar to a chip.
But actually, we were super lucky and he was brilliant.
You can see my stance is fairly narrow. My weight is...
He was fabulous because he was so passionate and an expert in what he did that his ability to talk about it and to tell people and draw people in and bring people into what he had to say was fab. He did such a great job. And that was a good learning curve for us, because sometimes as broadcast professionals, we often think that normal people can't really talk to camera very well or they can't present. So that was a good learning curve for us because we understood that that wasn't always the case. He loved it so much and it was super successful that he decided that he wanted to go back and remake an app he had made in the past with someone else. And that was double the number of videos for that app. So that was brilliant, and that was covering every aspect of the game. The learning curve from the second one was far steeper. Even though we had done a golf app before, the challenges of this one were actually far greater because of the volume. Because when you're talking about that amount of HD video in one app, you've got to consider everything, not just as we had done before, screen sizes, resolutions, and where graphics go. You're actually talking about the loading time for apps and things like that. So they were all factors that were brand new to us that we had to learn about. So again, the technical learning curve for doing the second app, which was kind of twice the volume of the first, was enormous. I firmly believe that when you're a small company and so much of our business is so personal and your personal relationships are the absolute most important thing, the last thing you want to do is oversell yourselves into areas that you are not an expert in, because there is nothing worse. You know, as an individual, you wouldn't want someone to come along and claim to be an expert in something that you needed and be disappointed. Well, we don't want to disappoint anybody else.
I'm Charles Hunter. I'm Managing Director of the Mudlark production company. We call ourselves Mudlark. And we're a digital production company. That's the easiest way of describing us. In the first year or two of Mudlark, we would all be wearing very much our own kind of skill set hats. You know, for example, in television, you know, you have a head of production, and in digital, it's a project manager. There are all sorts of other sort of differences in terminologies, but actually there are also differences in working as well. But since then, although we still have our own specialist knowledge, we have kind of evolved a Mudlark way of, you know, a company way of doing things. We've all learned a bit from each other.
My name's Pip Piper. I'm a producer and documentary director. The company that I run with my business partner Rob Taylor is called Blue Hippo Media. One of the things I learned early on is that it's really important that you can't do everything. And even though the economy of your business may be that you can't then just, well, we'll employ a director and we'll employ an editor and we'll employ a sound recordist and we'll employ this. You know, what's brilliant about our industry is it's very much based around people who are freelancers and people who want to do their own things. They don't necessarily want to be part of a company or run a company. So finding people that can have certain skills and developing relationships with those people is really key.
I would say whatever your business is, the most important thing is to know your audience and to know who you're trying to target and what they want. I think the value of going in to see people and actually just talking to them is probably far greater than, you know, sending your link and, you know, trying to link in and whatever. And it's just that face-to-face, and it's just the honesty and the personal relationships that are the most important for all small and medium businesses.